Arctic workers discovered an object embedded in ice while drilling in a frozen cave. A helicopter transported the ice block containing the object to a lab. Scientists declared the find a significant archaeological discovery, halting further drilling and requesting a specialist examination. Dr. Stanley, an anthropologist familiar with Arctic Inuit culture, arrived at a lab where scientists believed that they had discovered a prehistoric animal, similar to a mammoth found in 1898. Using a laser, they carefully revealed a Neanderthal man encased in ice, not an animal as initially thought. Stanley identified the discovered remains as a male who lived 20,000 to 40,000 years ago. Diane proposed dissecting the remains and distributing them to various research facilities. Subsequently, the scientists thawed the remains, removed personal effects, took tissue samples, and conducted open-heart surgery and brain monitoring. Analysis of Neanderthal cells revealed excellent organ and cellular preservation, suggesting the presence of antifreeze substances. Subsequent tests unexpectedly detected brain activity, prompting scientists to attempt revival using a breathing tube and electric shock, resulting in detectable heartbeats. After the caveman's condition improved, his breathing tube was removed. He awoke confused, frightened by the masked scientists. Stanley's unmasked face calmed him, enabling the scientists to sedate him. Scientists discussed using a Neanderthal to develop a method for indefinite human freezing, aiming for immortality. Stanley opposed this, citing the impossibility of eternal life and overpopulation. And despite his objections, the team decided to keep their research secret from the public. Stanley successfully advocated for studying a Neanderthal in a natural setting. A specially created environment allowed the Neanderthal to exhibit typical behaviors like foraging, fire-making, and hunting. He encountered and killed a wild boar. An accidental discovery of a metal hose led him to a metal door which he opened. Scientists tranquilized an angry Neanderthal to collect more samples. Stanley, whose research time was cut short, argued with Diane about the Neanderthal's apparent pain tolerance, citing a video showing tribes performing firewalking and other seemingly pain-resistant rituals. Stanley hypothesized the Neanderthal produced a protective chemical, persuading Diane to allow further study. Stanley, unarmed, approached a cautious Neanderthal in a living space. The Neanderthal initially prepared to attack with a stone, but was distracted by a shout. After examining Stanley's body, the Neanderthal reacted to Stanley's scream by stepping back. Stanley nicknamed the Neanderthal Charlie and taught him to say his own name. Charlie reacted to Stanley's, pointing out his chest scars, uttering a word interpreted as bird. Charlie also stole and bit Stanley's necklace, repeating some words, though Stanley didn't understand. Dr. Mabel, a linguist, reviewed a recording of their interaction and requested more data for analysis. Stanley and Charlie interacted, exchanging words in their respective languages. Charlie shared food with Stanley, who reciprocated by teaching him English. Mabel observed their interactions and noted Charlie's large vocabulary. Stanley sang a song, and Charlie responded enthusiastically. Scientists sedated Charlie for further sample collection and a low-temperature experiment aimed at activating antifreeze substances. Stanley objected, believing the experiment was inhumane. Charlie's heart rate slowed, forcing the scientists to stop. Afterwards, a distressed Charlie, displaying new scars, angrily confronted Stanley, demanding euthanasia, a request Stanley denied. Stanley, concerned that research was alienating Charlie, enlisted Diane's help. Charlie, injured and drawing, reacted nervously but offered Diane food. A subsequent attempt by Charlie to examine Diane's body led to a shouting match between Stanley and Charlie, resolved only when Stanley used a Neanderthal word. Charlie then attempted a trade, which Stanley refused, upsetting Charlie, who repeated words, one of which Mabel identified as woman. Charlie, using drawings and repeated words, communicated having a wife and children and inquired about their whereabouts. A helicopter's arrival caused him distress. He reacted by climbing rocks and repeatedly shouting beta, meaning bird. Scientists ordered the helicopter's departure, but Charlie remained agitated. Stanley shared words from Charlie with an Inuit tribe who recognized them as referring to a mythical bird in their legends. This bird transported people to heaven or hell based on their actions. Stanley theorized Charlie's tribe perished due to a magnetic pole shift, leading Charlie to believe God punished them. Charlie's belief that the helicopter was the legendary bird made calming him impossible. Charlie, fully equipped and disguised, waited for a bird's return, avoiding Stanley. He later found a lab, mistook his reflection for a mocking person, and broke a mirror. Frightened by sounds, he encountered lab animals and navigated through hallways, eventually triggering an automatic door. A moving vehicle startled him, leading to an accidental camera activation and a lab incident involving acid, burning his hand. Charlie, terrified by the lights being turned off, climbed on furniture, breaking equipment. A scientist's attempt to restore order resulted in Charlie killing him with a spear. The alarm then triggered Charlie's escape through a cooling tunnel and out an emergency exit. Charlie ran after a helicopter after being outside. The pilots used the skids to remove scientists who then rescued Charlie. X-rays showed he had no bone fractures or head injuries. Scientists blamed Stanley for their colleague's death, ending experiments and planning to relocate Charlie. Stanley, despite warnings that Charlie would die in captivity, secretly arranged access to Charlie's enclosure and calmed him with fur. Stanley led Charlie on a journey, during which a glacier collapsed, separating them. Scientists tracked them, and a helicopter rescued Charlie. He joyfully clung to the helicopter before falling to his death. The end. Subscribe to support us. Thank you for watching.